Hi friends, I'm back with another fun and challenging quiz. This is the final part of our Bible quiz series on the life of Paul. Let's jump in and see how much you know. First question, how many missionary journeys did Paul go on? The answer is 3. The first journey is recorded in Acts 13 verses 1 to 14 verses 28. The second journey is in Acts 15 verses 36 to 18 verses 23, and the third journey is in Acts 18 verses 24 to 21 verses 16. In which city did Paul address the Areopagus about the unknown God? The answer is Athens. Athens was filled with idols, and Paul's message about Christ was new to the people. He was invited to speak at the Areopagus, a council responsible for overseeing religious and moral teachings, where he introduced the gospel to the Athenians.
Hey there, next question. Do you know what Quiz Alkitab means in English? You got it. Quiz Alkitab means Bible quiz in English. We are a non-profit foundation in Indonesia. We are on a mission to provide modern Bible learning tools to all Bible readers and churches in Indonesia. You can support our mission by subscribing to this channel and also sending your donations to the YouTube Super Thanks button below. Don't forget to check our other platforms as well. Let's continue.
Where did Paul stay for a year and a half preaching the gospel while working as a tent maker? The answer is Corinth. In Corinth, Paul stayed with Aquila and Priscilla, who shared his trade. God encouraged Paul to keep sharing the gospel in the city, where many people were open to his message. Corinth was a thriving city. At that time, it was the chief city of Greece, both commercially and politically. This city was a vibrant cultural hub where traders and travelers from around the world came together. Known for its wild reputation, it was home to numerous places of worship, including temples dedicated to pagan gods and Greek deities. Corinth's society was heavily influenced by immorality, with practices like temple prostitution being a common part of worship to Aphrodite, the goddess of love. It's no wonder the church in Corinth struggled with many issues, given the challenges of living in such an environment. Who was the young man from Lystra who joined Paul on his second missionary journey? The answer is Timothy. Paul met Timothy in Lystra and invited him to join his ministry. Timothy became a trusted companion and an important leader in the early church. In which city was Paul stoned and left for dead, but survived? The answer is Lystra. After healing a man crippled from birth, Paul and Barnabas were mistaken for gods. Then some Jews came from Antioch, and Iconium turned the crowd against Paul. They stoned Paul and dragged him outside the city, thinking he was dead. Miraculously, Paul survived. What item belonging to Paul was used to heal the sick? The answer is handkerchiefs. While Paul was preaching in Ephesus, God performed extraordinary miracles through him. Even handkerchiefs or cloths that touched Paul were used to heal the sick. Where was Paul arrested after his third missionary journey? The answer is Jerusalem. After returning from his third journey, Paul was arrested in Jerusalem by Jews who opposed his preaching of the gospel. This marked the beginning of his journey to Rome. Who was the prophet that warned Paul about his arrest in Jerusalem? The answer is Agabus. While Paul was in Caesarea, staying at the home of Philip, the man who had baptized the Ethiopian eunuch, a prophet from Judea named Agabus, prophesied that Paul would be arrested in Jerusalem and handed over to the Gentiles. Paul's friends urged him not to return to Jerusalem, but Paul remained steadfast in his decision to go, fully accepting God's plan for his life. What accident did Paul experience on his journey to Rome? The answer is shipwreck. Paul was taken to Rome as a prisoner to appeal his case to Caesar. The sea journey was fraught with challenges and hardships due to strong winds and storms. The crew planned to dock at the port of Phoenix on the island of Crete, but before they could reach it, a violent storm struck, tossing the ship relentlessly. After being battered by the storm for days, the ship finally wrecked. Miraculously, everyone on board survived and safely reached a small island called Malta. It's an incredible story. Read more in Acts 27. Who was the Roman centurion who treated Paul kindly during his voyage to Rome? The answer is Julius. Julius, a Roman centurion from the emperor's regiment, treated Paul kindly and allowed him to visit friends in Sidon, and later protected him when the soldiers planned to kill the prisoners after the shipwreck. Last question. To whom did Paul write about his approaching death? The answer is Timothy. The Bible does not provide specific details about how or where Paul died, but in his second letter to Timothy, Paul reflected on his life and ministry, indicating that his death was near. Tradition holds that Paul was martyred in Rome. You did it! Congratulations on finishing this quiz. You've done a great job. If you missed the earlier parts of this series, make sure to check them out for a complete look at Paul's incredible life. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. See you in the next quiz. God bless you.